new year, it's a new indie bundle, let's go.
I knew it. No.
Has had a recurrence.
No. Size matters.
How big is it?
If I know how big it is, I can face it. I can size it up.
And it's quite small at this point, but unfortunately the size isn't terribly important. Any recurrence means the chemotherapy has failed. This is a tragedy.
First up, we have That Dragon Cancer from Numinous Games, but really it comes from Ryan and Amy Green, whose son Joel Green was diagnosed with terminal brain cancer when he was 12 months old. This game is a visual journey through the experiences and emotions that the Green family felt during their son's treatment. And as you'd expect for a game all about kid cancer, there are some absolutely harrowing moments in this game. One particular sequence when Joel is in hospital and dehydrated and won't stop crying it just floored me. And this game is deeply personal, to the point where it actually uses audio excerpts from the family's home video recordings. And the game goes through the nuances and the sort of mundanities of treatment as well, including the sort of dread and monotony of a hospital stay, and it pays particular attention to the role that God and faith played in Ryan and Amy's life. The way that the two react differently to this particular element, it's fascinating to behold. Unfortunately though, this game isn't without its flaws. It could have used more visual cues to determine what's interactive and how to move forward, and further, it doesn't do the best job in actually chronicling Joel's cancer. It plays too much metaphor, and as a result, it doesn't have that context to really have it hit home. Indeed, it kind of feels like you have to do some background research before you play this game. But still, as a standalone project, That Dragon Cancer is still affecting and emotional and poignant and everything you'd expect. You know already if this game isn't for you, but if it is, then it's very likely that you will still be thinking about this game for a while.
So, to summarize, we are not allowed here after dark, the town is shut down, and we, the Kamina High junior class, have come to commit improper acts.
Improper acts. All right.
Improper acts? What does that even mean? Soaping windows?
Yeah, I don't think that'll get us tossed in the stockade.
No. But maybe the fact that I brought a whole crap ton of drugs will.
Oh, well.
Oh God, of course you did.
Up next we have Oxenfree from Night School Studio. You play as Alex, as you and a bunch of fellow high schoolers decide to ferry it over to an abandoned island to get drunk and play Truth or Dare, only to inadvertently open a supernatural rift. So, equipped with a radio that can tune into the poltergeist, you have to explore this island and its ghostly peril to try to save your friends and get to the bottom of its perilous past. Now, this game was developed by former Telltale Games employees, so naturally dialogue plays a big part here. You're pretty much in near constant conversation with your friends, and of course you can choose how these conversations go, and these will have an impact on how your relationships end up with your friends. It's a well integrated dialogue system, and it absolutely lets the characterization shine. Even though I actually didn't like many of the characters in this game, I was still deeply invested in them and their backstories. Yes, even Ren, your really dweeby best friend. And just as compelling are the supernatural trappings. When the game goes all crazy, when it plays with time and reality, it gets super interesting and it just looks great as well. And in between these sequences is a soundtrack by Scientific, which is already an early contender for Best Gaming Soundtrack of 2016. It does so much great in its first two acts, and then it just ends. The character threads that you've been developing for hours are just tied up too quickly and conveniently, and the ending and the mystery actually almost says too much about the island. But in spite of this, Oxenfree, for the first 2/3 anyway, is a great little adventure game filled with great characters and a nice supernatural bent to things. That does it for this edition of the Indie Bundle. There are still plenty more awesome indie games out there, and we will check them out in due course.